This is Kristen from Weird Reddit 111. I truly hope that you're enjoying the videos I produce on my channel. Your feedback is very valuable, and I appreciate every like, comment, share, and subscribe I get on my channel. It truly warms my heart. I ask that you please continue to show support, and if you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe. Our next story is by Reddit user Disastrous Ad 70, who recounts an eerie coincidence in his journey. At 15, he was a cancer patient in Las Vegas. During this ordeal, he met Shoddy, a traveling nurse. She was more than just medical help. She was a pillar of emotional support for him. After he went into remission, Disastrous Ad 70 moved to San Diego for a new life. Fast forward 3 years, Disastrous Ad 70 caught in a severe cold snap, leading to dangerous muscle contractions. He was promptly taken to a nearby ER. Amid the emergency, he came across a familiar face in the chill's Shoddy. She instantly recognized him and took charge of his care for the evening. A user on his post suggested that considering his hospital stays and Shoddy's occupation as a traveling nurse, the coincidence was not so far-fetched. However, Disastrous Ad 70 highlighted the peculiarity of the occurrence. After all, he had not visited an ER in years, and meeting Shoddy in a metropolis like San Diego was quite unlikely. This tale is a reminder of the bizarre coincidences life presents us with, prompting us to ponder over the nature of reality. So, buckle up as we dive into more such intriguing stories. First story is by Reddit user NewBobcat4078. Almost everyone in my immediate family has experienced something paranormal or glitch in the matrix, myself included. The first time I can remember something happening is when me, my sister, dad, and grandma lived together. We were all in the kitchen, with me and my sister eating and my dad and grandma talking. I had dropped my fork, so my dad went to pick it up, and it was gone. Like, we all looked up and down and didn't find it. Another thing that happened was at my mom's house with me, her and her BF, my sister, and our 4 animals, all on the opposite side of the house. This took place on, as I said, all of us were in the front portion of the house, which had the living room, the bathroom, and 2 of the bedrooms, with the kitchen, laundry room, another bedroom, and another bathroom on the back portion of the house. Anywho, we all heard a sound of about 10 pieces of silverware dropping. Even the dog and cats reacted. All of us ran to the kitchen, and nothing was on the floor that could have made the sound. Another time, it was just me and my mom, but she had lost a brand new pack of cigarettes that we know no one else in our family had touched. I also have a bunch of paranormal stories if you would like me to share those. Next story is by Skipper500. I accidentally threw my wife's gold chain with a crucifix that her mother had left to her when she died in the bin once. She had a load of costume jewelry that my daughter used to play with and leave lying around. We had been fighting, and I was doing some hoovering, which had picked up this chain. I believed it to be the costume jewelry, so just threw it in the bin, as I was always having to tidy it up and was pissed off. A couple of days later, my wife is frantic trying to find something. I ask her what and when. She described the chain and crucifix. My heart sank. I spent the next 3 days with her tearing the house apart, but knowing I had thrown it in the bin, and they had been collected since then. A few years later, I tried DMT at a friend's house and had a very introspective experience about how I treat people, and this sprung into my mind, so I asked for help. When I got back home, my wife had found it in an old cup that was on the dresser in the mother's lounge. She had lived with us up until death. I cannot explain this one at all, and it's the first time I've ever mentioned it. As our next story unfolds, we delve into the realms of chance and fate. This account is brought to us by Reddit user Disastrous Ad 70. At the tender age of 15, they found themselves battling cancer in a hospital ward in Las Vegas. During their stay, they became acquainted with a nurse named Shawty, a traveling nurse who would move between different hospitals over the course of a year. Disastrous Ad 70 appreciated her care and support during their trying times. 3 years and numerous treatments later, our narrator, now 20 years old, was suffering from severe muscle contractions due to cold exposure. Unable to stop shivering, their mother rushed them to a nearby ER in San Diego, a city far from their initial treatment location in Las Vegas. Upon arrival at the ER, they were taken aback when they were greeted by none other than Shawty, their nurse from their time in the cancer ward. She had recognized their name and was their nurse for the evening. Disastrous Ed 70 describes this as the single most reality-bending coincidence of their life. In response to this story, one user commented, "Makes sense though. He was constantly in and out of hospitals and she was a traveling nurse. It's not like he found her again in Kandahar." However, Disastrous Ad 70 retorted, "The odds of going to that ER in a city as big as San Diego on the exact night one of the few traveling nurses I've met just happens to be there seems pretty strange to me. It's a 1 in a million coincidence." This story leaves us pondering the question, is life a series of random events, or are there unseen forces at work? Weaving a tapestry of fate and destiny, stay tuned as we continue to explore these mysteries. Our next account comes from Reddit user Occam's Comb Myself. They had a unique experience with a diamond stud earring. They narrate, "I was at a football game cheering loudly for my team when I felt a slight tug on my earlobe. I reached up to touch it only to realize that my precious diamond stud earring was missing. I searched the area around my seat, but it was like finding a needle in a haystack." Fast forward to 6 years later, while doing some spring cleaning, they found the missing earring in a reusable grocery bag. Oddly enough, the back of the earring was still attached. Occam's Comb Myself says, "I don't know how it got there. I don't remember ever putting it there. And how did it end up with its back still attached? I was at a loss for words." In response to this story, Reddit users Proncessa22 and Where's My Food Woman shared their similar experiences. Proncessa22 mentioned finding her mother's lost ring in a jar of pickles, while Where's My Food Woman discovered her missing pendant in a shoebox after years of its disappearance. These accounts remind us that sometimes the inexplicable happens, and the lost finds its way back home in the most unexpected ways. But the question remains, is it just a matter of chance, or is there something more to it? Stay tuned for more intriguing stories. Our next story comes from a Reddit user named Department of Cynism. Last year, they experienced 2 full days of intense deja vu. They narrate, "The first incident wasn't clear until the end of the day when I correctly predicted what would be said during a conversation. The second incident happened while I was texting 2 friends simultaneously. I suddenly realized I had experienced these exact conversations before and even mentioned it to one friend." What makes this account even more captivating is that the day before these experiences, Department of Cynism had an inexplicable feeling that something significant was going to happen, even going as far as writing it down. They recall having a dream that night, a dream they could return to after each awakening, like a checkpoint in a video game. The dream was distressing, ending with someone they knew taking their own life. Thankfully, the reality was different. The person in their dream reached out to them 2 days later, expressing feelings of depression, but also sharing that certain events that night had given them a new perspective on life. This story brings up many questions about the nature of deja vu, dreams, and how they might be connected to our real life experiences. Another user shared a similar experience after possibly suffering from a concussion during a high school soccer game. They described the following day as a full day of deja vu, suggesting that their brain was processing things very slowly. These accounts add another layer to our understanding of the unexplainable, reminding us again that reality can sometimes be stranger than fiction. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these mysteries. Our next bizarre tale comes from a Reddit user named Shikwick. They recount an unusual experience during a trip to Tokyo, Japan, with 2 friends. One day, the trio decided to grab a drink from Starbucks before exploring the city. They crossed the street from their hotel and entered the Starbucks store through its automated doors. What they saw next was incredibly eerie. The Starbucks was completely deserted. Dust covered the couches, the menu was blank. The counters and display cases were empty. It was as if they had stepped into a post-apocalyptic version of Starbucks. Despite being the only ones in the store, they maintained their respect for the place, not daring to venture behind the counter. Feeling unnerved, they decided to leave. As they were exiting, they heard the chatter of customers behind them. They turned around and were shocked to find the Starbucks bustling with patrons. The previously deserted and dusty store was now filled with life. They asked their friends, "Did you see that? The Starbucks was empty and dusty when we went in, and now it's full of people." Both friends confirmed they had seen and experienced the same thing. They were left with the chilling belief that they had momentarily stepped into another dimension and then back into theirs. A Starbucks dimension shift, if you will. This story, like the others, leaves us with more questions than answers. It reiterates the existence of inexplicable occurrences in our world, further deepening the mystery that surrounds deja vu and alternate realities. Stay tuned as we continue our exploration into these fascinating anomalies. In our next chapter, we delve into the strange experiences of another Reddit user, 00habab00, who has shared 3 spine-chilling tales that challenge our understanding of reality. Our first tale begins with a series of dreams. 0habab00 recounts having vivid, repetitive dreams about seas and floods that were filled with a sense of dread and foreboding. He couldn't shake off these disturbing dreams and their intensity, but he couldn't find any logical explanation either. Until one day he received news that his father had tragically passed away in a sudden flood. The correlation between his dreams and the unfortunate event was too uncanny to be dismissed as mere coincidence. The second tale takes us to his workplace, where he experienced a deja vu event that made him question his sanity. He describes a routine day at work that unfolded exactly as it had the day before. The same conversations, the same coffee spill, the same malfunctioning printer. Everything was eerily identical. And then, to his disbelief, the same sequence of events happened again the next day. A triple deja vu that left him bewildered and baffled. In the third and final tale, 00 Habab Verzero narrates a harrowing encounter with a dangerous individual who had the intent to harm, even kill him. In a twist of fate, he managed to escape unscathed from this life-threatening situation. He attributes his survival to a gut instinct that urged him to change his usual route that day, leading him to safety. These three occurrences, while unique to Johababwari, once again highlight the inexplicable events that happen in our lives. They reinforce the notion that there may be unseen forces at play, guiding and influencing our actions and experiences. They remind us that the world we live in is far more mysterious and complex than we can ever comprehend. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these mysteries in our next segment. In this next segment, we explore an intriguing tale from Reddit user Subjects Not Objects. In his late 20s, Subjects Not Objects and his friends were known for their lively house parties, where music, dance, and MDMA were the main attractions. One night, a peculiar incident occurred that left them all in a state of wonder. Subjects Not Objects recalls being in the midst of a particularly intense dance session, lost in the rhythm and the effects of MDMA. Suddenly, he found himself drawn to a touch lamp in the corner of the room. As he reached out and touched the lamp, the light bulb sparked out, plunging the room into darkness at a crucial moment in the music. The timing was surreal, almost as if he had the power to control the light with his touch. This strange incident left Subjects Not Objects questioning if the MDMA had temporarily given him superpowers. Despite the skepticism of his friends, he couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something extraordinary about that moment. Was it just a coincidental electrical fault, or was there something more at play? This story, though different from the ones we've explored so far, still leaves us questioning the nature of reality and the unexplained phenomena that sometimes occur in our lives. As we delve deeper into these mysteries, we continue to discover that the world is full of surprises and reality is often stranger than fiction. Stay tuned as we delve into more such mysteries in our next segment. Thank you for accompanying us on this journey into the realm of the unexplained as we delved into unexplained mysteries, glitches in the Matrix. Your curiosity fuels our exploration into these fascinating phenomena. If you enjoyed this episode and crave more such mysteries, please give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to ensure you don't miss out on our next video. Hit the notification bell. We value your support and engagement with the channel, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments section. Thank you, Weird Reddit 111 community, for being a part of this adventure. Remember to stay curious, embrace the weird, and continue questioning the world around you. Until our next encounter with the unexplained, goodbye and stay safe.